Hey, look, we're doing a normal episode. The band's back together.
Woohoo! We
Uh, Ke-
recording now?
yeah, Kevin, you missed quite a an episode last time.
I'm gonna pop open my drink here.
Oh, okay. I guess we're getting right into that conversation. Jerry, what are you drinking?
I am drinking a Good Night Moon. It's a an Imperial Milk Porter. Good night, cow jumping over the moon. Good night, cat, kittens, and good night mittens. You know that stuff, don't you?
Yeah, cool. I just wanted to know what you were drinking. I didn't need all that.
Alcohol content?
You didn't want me to read Good Night Moon?
No, I'm good. Thank you. Kevin, what are you drinking?
I have my wine, some red wine,
Ooh,
Cabernet.
ooh, ooh. What year is your Cabernet?
I think the box was put together last
The
year.
box.
Uh, very nice, very nice.
Kevin's all
Uh,
fancy.
I didn't learn anything from our mini cast, so I'm back to trying to
99,
this.
baby.
I'm back to 99. This was, by the way, most of this was drank uh, at the last podcast. And I don't know why I didn't realize that the 99 stood for the proof. So,
Wow.
so basically, as I'm pouring my second one and going, this feels strong, Jerry's like, yeah, dude, it's 99 proof. And I'm like, oh,
No
that's why.
wonder.
That's why I can taste time. Cool. Mmm, num num num. 11. Anyway, so yeah, Kevin, you missed a very heated debate about something I don't remember because I was drinking way too much 99. I think we talked about movies. I think Jerry said he loved The Fountain
Oh
and Time
yes,
Travel Flicks.
my
Yes.
my all-time favorite movie. Speaking of, Kevin, did you finish Donnie Darko?
I did not get past like 20 minutes or so just because I was busy today, and
Oh,
since
okay.
it was a work day, I couldn't 100% pay attention to a movie in the background.
Why can't you be more like Jerry and just watch movies while you were quote unquote working? He literally watched like 4 movies the other day while working, quote unquote.
No, I watched one movie and it was a short one.
Okay, so
Yeah,
all right. You know what? If I'm gonna exaggerate to make my point, you can't call me out. Please don't call me out like that.
Sorry. Dude,
Mm,
I watched 6 movies and
yeah,
3 of them were Lord of the Rings. Is that better?
right. Yeah, that's right.
Oh, I watched 10
The
movies,
director's cut.
and 5 of them were the Snyder-Cut.
Yeah, in black and
Well,
white, in
I
reverse, in
damn it, you beat me
in
to it.
tenant
yeah,
mode.
yeah. Nice. The Christopher Nolan cut of Justice League.
Of the Snyder-Cut.
Yeah. Wow.
All the slow, it's 100% slow motion, but in reverse.
Guess what, Skippy? Breaking news.
Uh-oh.
Pacific Rim: The Black confirmed season 2.
Nice.
Woohoo!
Nice. Very nice. Oh, cool. Did you see the showrunner I tweeted about it, and the showrunner like responded and was like, "Hey man, cool."
Yeah,
And I was like, "Yeah, awesome." I mean, that's it. It wasn't a
that's
very
another
exciting
one
start.
I have to catch up to that as well.
It's
I got a
it's
couple episodes in.
it's very good. It's not at all like they definitely take it in a bunch of directions that are different from the movie. You can see they're definitely doing a lot of world building, and I would say season one is very much there just to set up like the ongoing story. So they introduce a whole bunch of things. They don't explain a good number of them, and yeah, it's really good. I don't want to spoil anything, but it's very very good. As a fan, as a huge fan of the first, as a huge fan of both movies, I love the show. But criticism that was leveraged against it. Some people were expecting. See, I don't want to say anything that'll ruin it, but it is different from the movies in some regards, and you might not like some of the choices that they've made. But I think it's great.
I thought
So
it was cool. I thought it like kind of deepens the whole story and expands on the whole Pacific Rimiverse.
yeah,
Mhm.
basically like you couldn't just do giant robots fighting giant monsters nonstop for season after season after season. So yeah, they're expanding on that, and I think they did actually a really good job. So anyway, but that's all for a later conversation because this is the special. This is the Snyder Cut episode. This is where we go through the movie and then release 18 versions of this podcast as we go into greater and greater and greater detail. And then we cut out and then we cut me out so that it's good and whatever. So first
Spend
of all,
another 70 million on effects.
yeah, basically just Photoshop my beard out if I had. No, I'm sorry. Photoshop a beard onto my face, then spend another few $1,000,000 photoshopping it out. Yeah. So yeah. So I'm assuming both of you have actually finished it. Kevin, I'm really looking at you because I'm a little nervous.
Finished what specifically? The
Oh,
Snyder,
my
yeah.
God. Oh my God.
Off to a great start.
the Snyder Cut. Yes.
Yes, the movie that we've been talking about for the last 90 seconds.
This is what was missing from the last episode.
Yeah, it's true.
I thought it was obvious that we all saw it. That's why I was surprised that you were asking me about that movie.
20 minutes in.
What movie were we talking about?
Who are you? Where am I? What's going on?
Oh,
It's a
wait,
month or
wait, wait. Zack Snyder released a different version from the one that came out a few years ago?
No, I saw that movie.
Wait. Who did he cut? Why did they cut? What did he cut them? Is he okay? Is it a bad cut? So anyway, by the way, I also went above and beyond and I rewatched the Joss Whedon version, so I could accurately compare it to. You know what I have to say? Like the Joss Whedon one is terrible, but it's not as bad as I remembered it. Like it actually had a couple of things in it that I thought were pretty okay. Okay is like the best thing I can possibly say about it. Like okay, like the look of Darkseid, for example. I actually didn't hate Joss Whedon's take on it. It looks more Marvelish. Like I can see how that design is totally. Like,
I don't think he was in the first one.
I'm sorry, not Darkseid. Shit, I already messed it up. What's his name? Jesus. Steppenwolf. Sorry.
Yeah.
So he looks very, very different in Joss Whedon. Look, but I kind of like him. There's a little more of a, I don't know. There's a little more design to him, I guess. I don't know. I like the Zack Snyder version of Steppenwolf. I thought he looked really badass with with the blades and everything, and that outfit and the way everything sort of moved organically. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I agree. I thought that was kind of a neat little touch.
Yeah, but Joss Whedon's version wasn't bad. It's just it was all right. He had like a outfit and like a belt and some boots. It was nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Also, yeah, I didn't. Yeah, I totally completely forgot that not only is Darkseid not in Joss Whedon's he's mentioned in it, but he never appears in there. But that whole scene, so in the Snyder Cut, you see that whole epic battle between Darkseid's forces and human forces. The gods, the Amazons, the Atlanteans, and the humans fighting against Darkseid. In the Joss Whedon version, that's Steppenwolf. He's the one who's leading the charge, and he's the one who gets an axe through him, whatever, and he's the one that's being dragged off the battlefield, injured and angry and screaming like a big baby. So yeah, that's that. So anyway, yeah, the weird addition, the weird choice by Joss Whedon to add that awkward Russian family at the end of the movie. I don't know if you guys remember that from the Joss Whedon. There's just say like
that was just. I guess he had to have like, someone is going to die, and we could have funny jokes with, the Flash pushing a pickup truck, but Superman just carries a whole apartment block.
Yeah, and then instead of when he says goodbye to them, instead of he says Dostoevsky instead of Do Svidaniya or something. That was so bad. Oh, that was bad. As a native Russian person, that was like painfully like that made my asshole clench up. How dare you disrespect the hammer and sickle like that? That's disgusting. But yeah, so anyway, overall, I'll be honest. I thought the Snyder Cut was way better. I don't think it was necessarily a different movie, but it was different enough. There was enough change where it was notably better. It still, I don't think it was a really good movie, but there was something very admirable about the amount of like the amount of story and the amount of development and the amount of this big arc that he was trying to build, especially with scenes from like the future and everything like that. Like that was pretty cool. Like he might not have succeeded too much, but he definitely put in the work. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, he put up a lot
He
of work
wanted an
to set
intro.
up stuff that's never going to be created.
Well, he had that idea. I mean, he was setting that up. Plus, there's now whispers. There's of course they're already starting the campaign saying bring back the Snyderverse,
Oh,
There's
and
like a million signatures already.
there's a lot of signatures, and the movie is a huge fucking success. HBO and whatever Warner Brothers are like, yeah, it's even though apparently it was less successful than Wonder Woman, which I don't. There's something seriously fucking wrong with this world because God, that movie was awful.
Well, the
But
first one was some significantly okay. The second one was like,
the first one was okay. The second one was absolutely just bad. Plus, I hate Gal Gadot. I think she's. I mean, honestly, I mean, seriously, she can't act for shit. Are we really gonna?
She's exotic. Come on.
does
She's not
she have
exotic.
to act, or does
Right, but
Yeah, I gotta say she doesn't do it for me. No, nothing. I can't. Yeah, I really don't like her. No, sorry, not my thing. But anyway, but that's like I guess that's nor here nor there. But I did make a bunch of notes about Snyder-Cut that I wanted to sort of go over some of the things that it wouldn't be a movie if I didn't nitpick the shit out of it.
Well, of
So
course, we'd expect
so
anything less, unless it's an Aronofsky movie, and then you're just like, oh yeah,
no,
oh it was
no,
so
no.
good, like it's totally open to interpretation, and oh yeah, I'm interpreting it so many times.
Actually, I want to point out two things. First of all, yes, that is how I feel about Aronofsky movies. Very well done. That's literally how I described The Fountain when I said you should go see it. Like, The Fountain. So, uh, but actually, I'm looking at my notes now, and there's a few things that I've actually changed my mind on or come around on as far as why they're in the movie. So, and I'll go over that uh, as we go along. And you guys are welcome to
Interject
sort of
here and there,
yeah. So
like
yeah,
well,
just basically. Well,
your first note about the characters being unevenly introduced, I thought the Snyder Cut did a very good job, like in terms of time wise, and yes, some are full origin because they've never been introduced into the DCU at all, but
well, that was well that
until this movie.
right. So well, that just felt that again. That's so this movie to me had a lot of balance issues in general. It had to do with the way that the characters were introduced, the way certain races were portrayed. There was a weird unevenness. Like it's a 4-hour movie. I felt like he had time to do certain things, and he instead wasted it on less meaningful stuff. So yeah, it was weird that like Aquaman has that weird scene where he rescues that sailor after like we already met Aquaman. He's already been introduced. He's already done 2 sexy walks where he slowly removes his clothes and there's waves around him and he's drinking whiskey or whatever and he walks into the water, never to be seen from again. Like we've met him, so it's weird that all of a sudden out of nowhere they need to do this little heroic scene where he saves that guy on the boat. Wonder Woman had her own movie at this point. Why did we need that weird scene with the bank people? I didn't understand why. Like, yeah, like why spend so much time introducing her, for example, and meanwhile Batman rides like a horse into town, and you actually don't see him in costume until an hour, almost 2 hours into the movie. It just felt off to me. And then yeah, and then the Flash has that scene. Okay, the Flash, I get it. I think they could have chosen a better scene for the Flash, but we'll go into that later. It just I don't know, like that balance felt weird to me. Like I don't understand why they spent the amount of energy introducing some characters versus the others. Considering the fact that if you look at the Joss Whedon version, Batman actually has a sequence there where he's catches one of these parademons when he's trying
Yeah.
to figure out like what's going on. I actually don't understand why that was removed. I thought that was a really cool scene. He uses like a criminal. It was actually it was a really great scene. What he does is he captures a criminal and dangles him off a building because he figures out that these things are attracted to like fear, and he attracts one of them and captures one of them. But it was weird that they took that part out. I thought that was actually a really cool sequence.
But I mean, like that's fine, but like it really doesn't fit the plot telling, like the timeline. Like basically, they're smelling out people who touched it in the Zack Snyder version, like touch the box. They're hunting people who got in contact with the box. So like it's weird to say they're out there just hunting people for fear.
Yeah, that is true. That whole fear thing is actually removed because in the Joss Whedon cut, Steppenwolf at the very end, after Superman punches him a bunch of times, they say something like, "Hey, do you see that do you sense that he's afraid?" And as soon as they say that, all the parademons like swarm on Steppenwolf because he's fear. It was stupid. But,
Yeah, I think that was stupid too. So he removing the fear thing I actually liked.
yeah, okay, fair enough. I mean, I think they could have maybe somehow done something with that sequence. But yeah, you're right. I think the fear thing, if everything makes sense. Okay, so there you go. So cross that one off. Okay, question. That stupid jet thing, flying thing that was from the Superman movie that Batman decides he has to fix. First of all, I love the fact that they said that like aerospace engineers can't fix it, and I think he's talking to he's talking to Alfred at the time, and Alfred's like, "Oh, what, you're gonna fix it?" And he's like, "Oh, I have no choice." That's not how you fix things. You don't just say, no one can fix this, but I have to because I want to." But the other thing is that even after they do get it running with the help of, I think, Cyborg or whoever, I mean, it's just a jet that fires missiles. He's got bat jets and shit. Why does he need this fucking, like, they made this a very
carrier.
Yeah, but they made it a key thing in the movie. I didn't understand why it was like, of all the things he could have saved time on, the stupid transport could have been completely cut out. What the fuck was the point of that thing?
I think it was just, one of Batman's toys. It was just one of his things. Like I didn't really spend too much time thinking about it.
Yeah,
And
it's
the
one of
only
those
thing that
dumb
was
things that really
broken
bothered
was the
me.
software, like autopilot or whatever the fuck that was. And of course, Cyborg is the way to fix it because he's like super hacker.
Yeah. All right. I just didn't see the point of that. Okay, so we can just skip that. That was just those weird little details that I was surprised that he was focused on. This is a big one. The Mother Cube thing. This really annoyed the shit out of me. Okay. The humans were the only one, the dumbass humans were the only ones that were like, hey, you know what? Let's bury this thing underground so it's hard to find and hard to get to. Meanwhile, the rest of them, the Atlanteans and the Amazons, decide to put us on this huge pedestal and like present it. Why?
That's
but
so funny. I have
at
exactly
least
the
it was
opposite.
guarded. At least it was guarded by everyone else. The humans were like, okay, that's 3 feet down. That should be good. We're in a forest. No one will ever find it.
Well,
Yeah,
that's not.
I thought that was hugely irresponsible of the humans. Like, the fucking humans don't know how to protect shit. Like, where's the vault? With 6 inches of steel and 10 inches of concrete, like all that kind of crap. Nope,
But
they just buried it.
but
Fucking
Atlant,
dude with a metal detector could find that crap.
but Atlanteans didn't even do that. They literally put it on a big tower in the middle of the fucking ocean.
Yeah,
Not,
but it
not
was
in the
under
open.
like
It was
a
like in
mile of water.
well, but it's also in like a temple or whatever.
Yeah, but first of all, the temple was barely guarded. At least the Amazons were kind of guarding it. But again, I don't understand why make it even remotely accessible? Why not put it inside a thing, inside a thing, inside a thing, inside a thing, inside
Right.
underground, and then put some person, just sitting on top of it with a fucking sniper rifle, or like an axe or something. Why put it on display at all? Like,
Yeah.
why?
I didn't think of it as display, but you're absolutely right. It wasn't like nobody put it in a vault. Everyone did stupid stuff.
Yeah, Cyborg kept it in a fucking closet. What the fuck?
Well, keep in mind,
Well, did you see his closet? That thing was a mess. It was a
Yeah, you
death
can
trap.
find shit. Yeah, you can find
you
shit.
got to think of the timeline though. The Amazons had it for 100 years or some shit, and the Atlanteans, like, they had it before it even went under the water, right? So those are
Wait, are they
ancient
called?
civilizations that the entire planet has no idea exists.
Wait,
So
why are
they're
they called
hidden.
Atlanteans?
Yeah,
Atlanteans?
Because
this
they live in Atlantis. Wouldn't they be called Atlanticians?
Uh,
Like
but that's what they call them, right?
yeah, I'm just wondering why.
But my point is,
Sorry,
both of
that was
those
different.
mother boxes are like nowhere to be found for the majority of the planet, right? Like, I mean, sure, there's an island with Amazons. Okay, they know where it is, but they're all guardians essentially from forever. And then the Atlanteans, sure, there's like all those clans or whatever. So like, which one exactly? That one's a little bit more challenging because there's a lot of civilization under the water. But still, like, it's not, Jerry said, it's buried under a mile of water or whatever. But the humans, 3 feet under dirt. It's like,
Yeah, but
a scanner from space can find it.
yeah, but a scanner from space could also find the
No, it's
little
mascara.
Amazon temple. No,
It's hit underneath the mascara.
the mascara? I don't think it's called a mascara. I don't think it's made by Maybelline.
It's funny how Gal Gadot says it like she's got that accent, so it sounds like a mascara.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not surprised she can't read it, but yeah, okay, fine, I'll give you that. Also, why did the Amazons? I was actually wondering about that. Why did the Amazons the only race or group of people that didn't advance at all in over thousands of years? Like why? Like the humans went from having swords and knives and spikes to I don't know whatever the fuck we have now. I guess we have bacon and like Atlanteans have like laser weapons and all these fucking like energy weapons, and Amazons are still running around with spears and bows and arrows. What the fuck?
This has nothing to do with either of the movies. It's like, comic book story. They're Amazons. Like it's loaded with what 60s and 50s. What did it go back to 50s? I don't even remember when DC had all that stuff, but
yeah, originally it was made by a bunch of perverts. Yeah, I get it. Like these women in short skirts with bows and arrows and spears. Yeah, I get it that it's a weird male fantasy, but you think they would kind of, I don't know,
modernize it in the DCU version? I kind of agree with you, but maybe what do I know? Maybe that gender likes it. They want to own it. They want to re-own that whole mystique.
I guess I don't know. Either way,
no. Mystique is in the Marvel universe. You're getting confused here.
No, I'm not.
Also, why is it in all these movies and books? Why is it always like the Nazis that find this stuff? Like it's always like in the Indiana Jones movies, in Hellboy, stuff like that. Every time somebody hides something or buries something, it's always the Nazis that find it. Like they're like the greatest archaeologists in like the fictional world. Like anytime it's just like we don't know where this is buried, we have no idea, we can't find it, and somebody's like, I got an idea. I need a Nazi and a shovel, and I'll find it in like a week. And they always find it. It's always the fucking Nazis.
You realize there's no original content in this day and age. It's all stories being retold for like the fifth time from that era. So that was like the go-to, source of all evil.
Well, I understand it's evil, but how are they so good at finding things? Historically, they weren't that great. Like Anne Frank evaded them for a while, and she was just up in the fucking attic. Like, but if you bury the shit under a temple, under this, under that, protected by all these weird like ancient gods, Nazis are just like, I got it. I dug for half an hour and I found it.
I know Marvel does the same stuff. I mean, there's the whole history. Well, it actually goes beyond that. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Marvel got like all creative and made it different than Nazis, but whatever.
Wait, what do you mean? Wait, what? No, I want to hear this because I actually don't know what you mean.
What the fuck is the bad guys called?
Oh, you mean Hydra?
Hydra existed way before the Nazis were around.
Actually, that's a good point. What was the story with Hydra? They weren't formed around the same time as the Nazi Party came into power, right? They were around before.
They were already formed for like thousands of years. They go back to ancient times.
That's right, because in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. they had that Hydra god thing. Yeah, yes, that's right. Okay.
Right. They tied it to like that ancient situation where the blood ritual sent people through the portal, blah blah blah.
Right. Well, anyway, so my point was, I think that when you have three things like this that can, so easily destroy the planet, you do a better job fucking hiding it. Which was always one of my things about the Infinity Stones, also, and the parallels between the Mother Boxes and the Infinity Stones is pretty obvious. But like, do a better job of hiding these fucking things, for the love of God. Like, if they're that powerful and the last thing you want is somebody getting a hold of all of them together because they can wipe out just about everything,
Yeah, why keep
just
them all on the same planet?
just do a better, or always keep them moving. Just something, for the love of God, just put some effort into it.
But you got to remember, like, civilizations come and go while these things still exist, and then they get lost.
Yes, except they were watched by civilizations that have existed the entire time. I mean, humanity sort of like, yes, okay, fine, I get it. But again, the humanity one was like one of the hardest ones to find. But unfortunately, Nazis. And then, but the Atlantis one and the Amazon one, they didn't really go anywhere or do anything. They just sort of just sat
Yeah,
around,
which
and every day they just walk by this thing and be like,
they
"Hey,
did a
mother,
better
guess what?"
job. The human one got found much earlier than the freaking other two.
No, the human one was the last one to be found.
No,
By the
it was
bad guy.
found. It was dug up
Yeah.
from the ground
Oh,
a
I mean, it
lot
was
longer than a lot
right, right,
earlier than the other two were taken by the bad guy.
right, right. I
They,
meant
they didn't know that the human, the man, the mother box of men was a mother box
right, right. So it was found by
until
somebody. You're right. Okay, that's fine.
But that's the other thing. Like a human civilization lost track of it. Like no humans were around to even remember the significance of it. The other two civilizations, it was still kept in the same safe place the entire time until, of course, the actual alien, evil race wanted them, and they came back to the planet.
Well, yeah, they also got lucky. What if there was Atlantean Nazis? They would have found that like really quick. I'm just saying, they just swim around, little Nazi scuba gear. Anyway, so moving right along. I don't know why I'm so hung up on Nazis. So my next thing was Cyborg. Okay, and by the way, there's a couple of things in this movie that sort of had this like it only works when the plot needs a thing. So
it only
at some
works
point,
what?
when the plot needs it to work.
Oh, right.
So
Sure. But that's like any movie.
That is true. So when Cyborg is being more or less introduced, and he's listening to a thing from his father, he explains to him that like you have access to everything. And he even says you could wipe out the entire world with like a thought because you have access to like all nuclear weapons, et cetera, et cetera. If you're gonna set up this character as being this goddamn powerful, it makes it very hard later on to see him struggle against like individual enemies or in like his powers never get fully used. And that just really like annoyed the shit out of me. Like, why didn't he just go?
Brain powers, not so much fist punchy powers.
Yeah,
no, but
cybernetic
too.
But he's got access. But he's got access to.
Means nothing to this other race.
Why couldn't he launch a bunch of nuclear weapons at Steppenwolf? He's already in the middle of a fucking nuclear like dead zone. Just nuke the fuckers. I don't know. It just fine, not nuclear weapons. He has access to non-atomic armories. Why couldn't he like call a bunch of military jets and like all these drones and shit like that? Like why if he has access to the world's technology, why does he never ever use it? Ever.
Well, he gave that one woman like $100,000 because she's a hard worker and she needed it, and she was evicted.
Yeah, that was really weird. So if he's aware of all these unfair treatments of people and he's just letting them happen, but just to help one person, that
was just to show that he's a good person and he's not going to take advantage of the system.
Look, but he's already a bad person.
Wait, hold on a second. There's a subplot of Superman's mom losing her farm. Why the hell didn't he just do the same thing and get her back her farm from the bank?
He doesn't care about Superman.
Why did he have one person, and why did he only give her $100,000? That's not that much money.
So the issue was, and I'm sorry, we're way over the time limit for discussing a Snyder-Cut movie. So what happened? What? Sorry, we have to do the obligatory Snyder-Cut slow motion.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Were you waiting for us to laugh? I apologize.
Don't do that again.
I'll edit the laughter in later.
Oh, you can edit anything you want in there. There was a perfect silence.
Q, 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 Q. Good one, Jerry. Anyway, moving right along. Uh, well, no, this whole episode is a Snyder cut, so we actually don't have to hurry up. But
When do we
okay,
ever?
fine. All right, so fine. So that was my shoot cyborg, and you haven't explained it at all, and nor do I think you're going to. So I'm going to move on to the hot
No,
dog scene.
there
Oh,
is
what?
no explanation.
It
They're
was
like,
just
this would
character
be a
development.
great scene to like show that he's a good guy and that he's not going to like take advantage of all of this stuff. And
But
then they're like, good, we
You're
did
in a
that. Check. We can, we can forget about those powers.
you're in
why?
a DC universe. There's a Superman that like is ultra powerful and can only get hurt or whatever by kryptonite. So why not make a cyborg made from Infinity Stone level mother cubes that like let him hack anything on the planet because humans are weak, But maybe like in the not multiverse, in the DC verse, like it's not as powerful when he's like trying to hack a Steppenwolf ship or something, like that might be future stuff. But like the point is, we're
Kevin,
already in a world with a
I'm
Superman.
sorry. Have you seen Independence Day? All computers are the same. He could hack any alien ship.
It just feels weird to present a character that's so powerful, and then at the end, sorry, not even at the end, just for the rest of the movie, just completely make him borderline useless. And actually, speaking of useless, that actually segues into my next question, which I forgot to note, was what exactly was the point of Aquaman in all this? So you
Wait,
had,
hold
He
on a
takes
sec.
off his
Hold on a
shirt.
sec. Wait,
yeah,
wait.
I mean, besides the sex factor, obviously.
Wait.
What?
The Cyborg is the key to the whole thing. Like he's a pivotal part in the plot.
Right, that was
He's the
actually
only one
right.
that can hack apart the three mother boxes. So like you're making him sound on the one hand this uber character, and then like he isn't utilized, but he was. Like
No, he was
it's
no, he was
100%
utilized.
counter to what you're saying.
No, he was utilized, and he was a very key character in this version. But what I'm saying is that he was key when he needed to be key. When other points where his powers would have sort of made uh, conflicts or fights very one-sided, he was pretty useless. What I'm saying is
He,
like he basically has all these abilities, and they're like, okay, it's time for you to use your abilities 2 hours later, as opposed to at any other point up until now. And it's like, look at me, I'm important. But he could have been important before.
you know
I
what
don't
I did
understand
appreciate?
where you're coming from at all. He's introduced, and like they tell us he can do all kinds of crazy shit. Then he, you
Doesn't
know,
do the crazy shit.
of course he does. He literally like biointegrates into that spider robot toy vehicle, right? And takes that over. He fixes the carrier plane, the jet aerospace thing that nobody else could fix, but makes it work for Batman. And then he hacks the cubes and gets them apart, and then his combat is cannon arm and whatever.
Okay, so great.
I think
So
he's
using your
fine.
own,
I
but
don't have any problem with him.
using your own logic, why did Batman need to fly around in that jet then if Cyborg could just control it and just remote control it to do all the stuff that Batman was doing manually? And for that matter, why did they need that jet? Why could he just call in a bunch of military jets and drones to do that? Why did Batman have to fly around and fire rockets at shit until it finally blew a hole and then do that whole sequence with him driving the Batmobile? He could have called the entire world's military down on this thing. Why didn't he?
I mean, like, because I thought, to me, in his character development moment, where he's like, his father he shows him the recording, whatever, you could do anything, but it's what you do with that power. It's just like Superman.
So he
It's
did
like,
nothing with that power?
you can
Yeah,
kill anybody. Like, you're the strongest and whatever, but like holding it in reserve and doing it for good is the sign of like a good person, right? So
right. It
Cyborg
would
kind of
have
goes
been
through the same shit.
But
it
wouldn't
would have
it? But
been
wouldn't
really good to be like, hey, let me call in a strike with using all of Russia's and North Korea's missiles on this base with all the bad guys.
Yeah, saving the world seems like a good thing to do, maybe, that he could
You're,
have
I
done.
mean, that would be bad storytelling then, because then
How?
it'd just be a MacGuffin. Oh, he's like amazing. Let's just do this.
No, but that's exactly what I'm saying. If you're going to introduce a character and say they're all powerful, like okay, with Superman, they're like okay, Superman is unstoppable. He's completely OP, and that makes sense. As soon as he shows up, he's just like ha ha ha, I'm Superman, pink, and just beats the shit out of Steppenwolf in 10 seconds. That actually made sense. It seems kind of silly. It's like wow, that I can see why they were afraid of him. That makes sense. But with Cyborg, it was kind of like wow, he's really like overpower. He's really powerful and he has all these abilities but he doesn't use them. He could have if anything, I could say they handicapped him. He could have done what Superman did, but instead, like they didn't like he just didn't.
You're like disregarding all the character development of like the 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 troubled youth, 20 something, like I hate my parent, my father did this to me and it sucks, and like, he only learns a day before, and like, so it really is like, oh, so like in one day he understands the entire planet worth of network, and like it didn't take any time to do it. I think what you're saying they imply would have been the stupid answer.
There's
Actually,
It
literally
would
a,
have been ridiculous.
there's
that's
literally
one
a
of
scene where he walks into this virtual thing where he's understanding the entire
Yeah.
world and is connected to everything. So what you're saying he didn't do, he did do.
No,
no. So
it's a
in
typical
the
scene of somebody entering a visual representation of the internet. And you're saying like he instantly understands everything. It's you're harping over the dad saying you can take control of every nuclear weapon on the planet. Like, and you're just like, okay, so he's in there looking at nuclear codes, but he doesn't use them. That's that's an unbelievable logic jump on your part. Like, how the fuck do you go from like, how about step into the shoes of this guy that's like, my dad is an asshole, and now I look like a monster, to like, oh, I see everything. I could control the world. Like, he's not that type of like where, like, you have no, you're not interpreting any of the character. You're just like, okay, you told me he could do anything. The dad's recording says he could do anything. Why didn't he do anything? Like,
I don't know.
like,
I
where's the
see what
plot in there?
I see
You're
what
jumping from
in
A to Z in 1
I
second.
see what you're saying, but I think that wow, I can't even say it.
Emo-
99,
Cyborg
baby.
sounds way worse. Yeah, it's definitely working. Like my tongue is really numb. But so that's actually I want to say this is actually where Joss Whedon I thought actually did a better job. Well, okay, I mean
Yes.
not a better job in general, but he actually explained it way better.
I've
He
been trying
said,
to say for the last 5 minutes that there's a scene in the Justice League where he
"Go on, Jerry."
where Cyborg is like, I'm getting all these feeds and he's integrating with the web and everything, but
He's
he's like,
evolving.
I don't know how to control it or understand it all yet.
Yeah, like there's a part where he actually like lifts off and is floating in midair, and he's like, "That's new. That wasn't something I could do yesterday."
Mhm.
That would have made sense. I thought that was a better explanation. Whereas in the Snyder Cut, yeah, you're right. His dad is just like, "You have the power over everything. Don't don't use it. Don't use it until you need it though, because there's 3.5 hours left of this fucking movie."
I totally agree with you in the sense that, like, you have the Snyder's, like, he literally presented via the audio recording from his dad. You could do anything you want. You have power to do anything. Literally what you're saying. And then like, here's me trying to stretch to like, well, he's a troubled youth, right?
Right.
Not youth, but young adult. But like what you just said, Jerry, the other cut does. I agree with you 100%. Like, that would have made a lot more sense. Like, he's still learning is the thing I'm trying to say didn't happen yet.
Right.
Can I call out Kevin for wearing a Marvel T-shirt to a
Yeah,
DC party?
I was
Well,
thinking about that. I
I
assume he
don't
did that
own a
on purpose.
DC. I don't own any DC paraphernalia.
I just assume he did that on purpose, but okay.
So another thing that maybe they should have or called out in Kevin's defense, I got the impression that where Steppenwolf was, part of what they were feeding off of was the radiation from that area, which is why they set up shop there. So my
Right.
guess is sending a bunch of nukes there might not be the best idea.
Well, I was using nukes as an extreme example. But I did say like
Right.
what there's a bunch of other military weapons that are remote
Sure.
controlled. Again, drones, for example. Like, or again, why didn't he just remote fly that jet that he fixed? I don't understand. Since he actually flew it remotely so they could all climb onto it, why didn't he just do the thing? But anyway, so speaking
I
of completely
did I
useless,
did like that like once the main fight started, Batman, like after he like got a couple of the guys that he could outside, and like he was just like, I'm gonna sit up here and watch the main fight, and I'm not gonna get anywhere near that.
oh yeah, he was just like shooting people left and right. I love the fact that somebody did an interview with Snyder about, Batman and killing people, and he's like, dude, if you still live in a world, I forgot how he said it, but something like, if you still live in a world where you think that like Batman doesn't kill people or doesn't kill anything, I can't help you. Like yeah, like it's true. Like that really needs to go away. This weird myth that like that Batman does has never killed anybody. They always find this weird loophole, like in what is it, in Batman Begins, when he kills, what's his name, Al Ghul. I'm so bad with DC
Uh-huh.
characters. Yeah, when they're in that speeding
Ra's al
train.
Ghul.
Yeah, Ra's al Ghul, and he's like, oh, you can't kill me. He's like, but I don't have to save you either. Yeah, that's still murder.
Yeah.
You beat the
I
shit.
don't kill people. I put them to sleep.
Yeah, I'm so glad he saw that. Yeah, that was one of the best skits ever. He's like, what about that guy over there? Him? Oh, yeah, I see where you're confused. Yeah, he's just really tired. What do you think murder is? Uh, so yeah, I mean he clearly kills, and there's rumors that in the new Batman movie where he's played by Robert Pattinson, he actually does apparently like beat people to death.
Does he
Where
sparkle too?
only in the sunlight though.
Oh,
But
okay.
yeah. But anyway, so back to my other question. Now that we moved past Cyborg. Why can't you say Cyborg? Cyborg.
Let's move on to hot dogs.
Aquaman. No, before hot dogs. Aquaman.
Oh,
Seriously.
okay.
What was the point of Aquaman in this entire movie? So like, if you go down the list, right? So Cyborg. Okay, his role was, he was very important. He had to hack the mother boxes. Understandable. Superman was the overpowered guy who gave him the big advantage and beat the fuck out of Steppenwolf. Wonder Woman was in the movie, and then there was. No, I mean like she was like I guess she was like the heart of the group. I don't know. I don't care. I hate Gal Gadot. And then there was the Flash. You needed him for like the energy things, and he was
Reverse
and the
time.
and the time travel
Well,
thing.
that was significant for
Right,
sure.
and
Yeah.
right. That's what I'm saying. And Batman was kind of like the one who brought everybody together. What did Aquaman do in this entire movie?
He stopped water in one scene.
Right,
He ran around without a shirt, and he
right.
said, "My man."
Yeah, seriously.
Hold on a second.
But why was
In
he
in
needed?
the
Like
in
they stressed that they needed him. What the fuck did they need him for?
well, he's you know, the more in your army, the stronger you are, right? I totally see what you're saying. Like he's another one to smack a couple of those like flying waspy guys around, whatever the fuck they're
I mean,
called.
from the perspective of the movie, yes, I get it. When you're building an army, you need more people. But like, as far as the way he was utilized in the movie, like as far as
He was
story
not
and
a
progression, what the fuck
he
was the
was
point of
not a
him?
story. Yeah, I totally agree
Yeah.
with you. He's not
Okay.
a part of the plot. But I'm just gonna say this. Compared to original Aquaman theory, I've never understood him, and now he's better. Like the way he
Yeah.
was played in the DCU, it's like, oh, okay, he's just a cool, like tough guy. He
Right.
combatants, whatever. I actually enjoyed the Aquaman movie.
Oh,
Um,
I love the Aquaman movie. I was very, very surprised by how thoroughly I enjoyed that
it's
thing.
fantastic.
That was so good. The final battle is holy shit. That was
Yeah,
one of the coolest things I've ever seen. Yeah,
I
they did a really
agree with.
good.
It
I
was
think that's
really
still
cool
the.
to explore. Yeah, I
I,
totally agree with you. And
I
in
think it's
this
still the
movie, I
best one.
totally agree with you again. He was just one of the team, you know, making sure guys got beat up and they didn't get overwhelmed. Like
Yeah.
literally, I think that was his entire plot. Right?
Also, and I think this came out before the Aquaman movie, right? So they kind of
Yes.
had to they want to set him up, and
Well,
as Ryan George would say, it's a commercial for our
right.
movies.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah, I kind of wonder. I thought that in his own movie, he was really great and that he was really well used. I just feel like they could have, I don't know. He was literally a fish out of water in this entire movie,
Doom
and it
doom.
just felt, yeah, thank you. And
Ugh.
it just felt weird. It's almost like they purposely kept him as far away from water as possible to make him irrelevant. And then at the very end, when you have that sequence with that scene where where they're in the future with Darkseid when Darkseid has conquered the Earth, immediately they really mention as quickly as possible that he's dead. So it's like, okay, there's really nothing for him to do at all like anymore. That was really weird. Like they just completely made him irrelevant as quickly as possible.
That's
Yeah,
interesting. In that dream sequence, I didn't remember that he was dead.
She
yeah.
so
No,
you
they
so in the dream sequence you have the I forget what the name of that character is.
Mara.
The Yeah, Mara.
Mara.
She says I'm going to kill Darkseid for what he did to Arthur, which I guess is, you assume that he's dead. He could be turned, I guess. I don't know, but
Interesting. Yeah, you're right. I guess you're right. I didn't click that that could mean he's dead.
right. So I
But
guess
like
that was
in that dream sequence, Superman's evil. There's that whole thing.
right.
yeah.
So in
The
case,
whole
by the
thing
way,
is that what's it, Lois Lane was killed,
it
and
wasn't
and
just
Superman blames them.
it wasn't just that. It was, well, yes, that was part of it. It was the death of Lois Lane, and it was the so what was the name of that equation that Darkseid was looking for?
Oh,
The
the
life
anti-life. Yeah, it
anti-life
was a
equation.
stupid name.
In the I think the canon he turns Superman by using the anti-life equation on him. So basically, if you don't know, because they do a shit job explaining it, is the anti-life equation is some force or something that shows or proves that life is bad or life is meaningless. So if you use it on somebody, they basically now serve the purpose of ending life because they think that life is bad. So that's it. That's so,
AKA turn somebody evil.
So they're
yeah,
like,
basically, yeah.
X equals -1. Oh, fuck that. I'm turning evil and killing
Yeah,
people.
yeah, basically. Yeah. So yeah, so that's it. So I'm assuming like he couldn't find it, and that's what he tries. That's one of the things he tries to find in this movie, but he can't. But he can't. But in the future, he finally finds it. I can only assume at some point he just like comes across like a Nazi and gives him a shovel, and the guy finds an anti-life equation in like 5 minutes, and he's like, "Great, now I got everybody," and and yeah, they go from there.
I mean, the
But
end of this movie, they break them apart and they repel the Steppenwolf forces, but we have no idea what they do with the boxes. Not really.
that's a good point. What the fuck do they do with the boxes at the
They
end?
they mentioned at one point that the boxes were destroyed.
No. Where? How? You mean in
Yeah,
the
I
dream
don't know
sequence?
how, but they were like the boxes were destroyed.
I
Yeah,
mean,
that's
you don't see it destroyed. They just separate them,
Right.
no.
right?
Oh no, but it might be because at some point Darkseid says when his advisor goes, "What do we do now?" He says, "We do it the old-fashioned way, get the armada ready," or something like that. So
Yeah.
he does give up on trying to get them. So yeah, I guess maybe they are destroyed.
See, to
It
me, I
doesn't
thought
make
that
sense.
implied that's how we get it. We assault Earth because the boxes are there.
No, the assault on Earth that you're seeing in the future, that has to do with the anti-life equation. That was supposed to be the next big thing. He comes to Earth because Steppenwolf tells him that's where the anti-life equation is. So he's supposed to get the Armada ready, come to Earth, find the equation, use that to turn a bunch of heroes evil. I believe, and then that's why he's so it's so easy for him to take over. Not easy, but why he succeeds at taking over Earth because he turns like Superman, for example, over to his side and a few others. It becomes kind of like the Marvel version of this. Well, it's like a combination of the Civil War and the Infinity Stones, even more so, I guess.
Yeah.
But don't quote me on any of this. I know very little about the DC universe.
Yeah,
It's
me
all
too.
it's kind of wash. But if so,
Couple of
anyway, so
amateurs interpreting movies.
yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, that's all we have to go on. I read Batman comics and I read some of the Superman stuff. Like I read I was into Superman when they were doing that whole the Death of Superman storyline. Like that was kind of cool for about 5 minutes until they completely ruined it and brought back like 10 Supermans, and then one of them is the real one, and then they're like, yeah, he's back and he's alive, and it's like, okay, so nothing matters, and like none of this had any consequences. Great, but yeah, I mean the DC universe overall was always kind of boring. Although I will say this, the WB shows are great. I think I think they're really entertaining. They're kind of dumb but kind of fun to watch. Like
Like what
the
shows?
like the Arrow, the Flash,
Oh, yeah,
all
yeah.
those shows. Like
I haven't watched them in a couple years, but I did
yeah,
enjoy them.
they are
Arrow and
so
Flash
fun.
weren't
They're
bad.
so
I saw like maybe a quarter of them, but like they got silly when they went into the other ones, right?
the group one was a little silly. The what are they called? When
Fuck,
they have
I don't
like
remember.
Atom Man and
Yeah,
Not Valkyrie. I don't know. Anyway, the point is, yeah, it got a little silly, and I never bothered with Supergirl. That looked really terrible, so I kind of skipped that. I do want to watch the new Batman one. Not Batman. The Batwoman one. That actually looks like it might be good.
are
Oh, I
the
didn't hear
others
about that.
still going? Are like the Flash and Arrow? Are they still making new shows?
Flash is going. I think Arrow's done. I don't know how it ended. I didn't see the last two seasons. Supergirl is now in her final season. I don't know what happened with the group one. I'm way behind, so I don't know. Um,
See, I
and
I've
Batwoman is just started season two.
uh, I fell behind, and then they started doing like a bunch of crossovers, so I felt like I had to watch them kind of in release
Chronologically.
order.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I fell out of it, so like binging wouldn't be conducive to that. So I was like, I just gave up. So
the the Flash and Arrow crossovers were actually really good.
yeah, they
The
are.
way they worked into Flash was really well done. And you know what? It's just again, it was just really just fun and entertaining. Like they nailed it. They did a really
Hmm.
good job with that.
I agree.
So, but anyway, so you know what? I think honestly, doing on the list also. First of all, we're already running long, but I guess that's normal for this episode. Just skip over a bunch of them, like the hot dog thing, whatever. That's stupid. The box Infinity Stones, like yeah, there's definitely a parallel between the Mother Stones and the Infinity Stone. I'm sorry, the Mother boxes and the Infinity Stones. Some of this nitpicking is really kind of pointless. Like, why didn't anybody notice the huge structure that Steppenwolf was building? Like, why was it so hard to find? They needed to tag one of the Mother boxes.
I like this one though. I like the Superman. This one bothered me. I was like, what the fuck? Superman flew off with Lois Lane at the speed of sound. Like,
That
yeah,
really
she
annoyed
would
the
have just like been
yeah,
like mush.
I thought
liquefied.
that
Yeah,
I thought that
yeah.
I thought that when it happened, I was like, oh shit, that would have sucked.
You know,
Her ears
I
would have
actually,
popped. Like now she can't
yeah,
breathe.
I literally thought that, like, I was like, you know what, all three of us thought the same exact thing when that happened. We're all like, oh, she's dead.
Yeah.
I'm like, he's just got it. Does he have one arm or two arms? But like one arm, all of a sudden, like all the pressure goes into her armpit. Like her arm would have ripped off, you know?
It would have been so great if, like, the next scene is you see him landing in the Kent farm and he's just like holding a pile of bones and like glop and he's like,
Yeah, like a
oh,
sack of mush.
yeah, basically like, oh shit.
It's shit like that. I mean, like, yeah.
You just kind of brush it aside, like, oh, hey, mom, yeah, it's me, Clark Kent. Yeah, what's this? I don't know. It's atmosphere.
I thought I
Yeah, I
was
used to
wearing
love.
my black suit. Why is it the reds? Oh,
Yeah.
humans are squishy.
This is a red wig I picked up for you. You get nice. Yeah, that was.
I am shocked that you do not have the Martian Manhunter like weirdness of this movie. Like you didn't
Um,
put any notes about Martian Manhunter. Like
I
why
don't
the
know.
fuck is Martian Manhunter pretending to be Clark's mother going to see Lois?
I will
I
tell
What's
you.
don't
any of
know
that?
enough about.
I will tell you two. I will answer that question with 2 points. A, I don't know shit about the Martian Manhunter except that he has a completely idiotic name.
Yes.
and B. And by the way, I love how he casually
Totally
says that
agree.
at the end. At the end, he's just like, some people call me the Martian Manhunter, and Batman's just like, okay, cool. Like no follow up questions to that. Why do they call? Why?
They made a joke where like, "What's your superpower?" I'm rich. Like they can't say,
Yeah.
Who are you, Martian Manhunter? That's an odd name. Are you from Mars?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
what the
Hold on.
fuck?
Yeah, hold
Yeah.
on. Are you a Martian? Like, do you hunt Martian men, or are you a Martian that hunts human men? Like, we need clarification before you fly
Yeah,
off, please.
right.
But yes, first thought, yes, I don't know anything about him. And the other thing was that there's something about not caring. Oh, so basically there was also the fact that I got that they were trying to introduce yet another thing to go into a spinoff. That's why, again, in pitch meeting, he goes, "Hi, I'm the Martian like Manhunter. I'm here for whatever sequels you guys feel like doing later."
Yeah, exactly.
Like he's yeah, like he's just there to hang out. He's like, "Hey man, call me."
Hey, guess what? I'm
Eh,
a character in this DCU also.
Right. I don't know why he. I guess yeah, it was weird that he was kind of like getting in the middle of things and pretending to be Clark Kent's mom. But I guess that's like later they're going to say like, oh, he's sort of this overseer that's powerful and he's helping steer things. I don't know. I guess he knew that that Lois Lane would be the only one who could set Superman straight. But Batman knew that too because that was his plan all along.
Not
Oh,
in this
yeah.
movie. Not in this universe.
No, it is no. He says, Alfred, bring in the big guns, and the next thing you know, Alfred pulls up with Lois
No,
Lane.
that was in the Joss
That's
Whedon.
that's the Whedon.
That was the
No,
Justice League. Yes.
No,
no,
you don't see
Never
that in
said that in
Snyder
this
at all.
movie.
that is
Never said that.
I wrong. Watch it again. I
Yeah,
actually
dude,
made a note
I've
about
watched it twice. He never says that in this movie.
In this movie he says
No.
because he actually talks about because Alfred confronts him a few times. He said, "What are you working on?" And he says they kind of do it like they try to hide what he's working on or what he's thinking. He says like at some point we might need the big guns or whatever. And he
Yes.
calls Alfred and he says we need the big guns. And Alfred pulls up with Lois Lane. That's how she gets there.
No, that's
that
the
the-
Joss Whedon one, dude. This
Is it?
one,
Shit, did I get
yes,
everything confused?
the
Fuck.
whole because of the Martian Manhunter is why she was there, because he convinced her to go to work. That day she was going to work. She just went to drop off one last coffee. The cop made a comment about it, and she's like, "Yeah, no, I'm just doing this one last time." And then she's walking to work, and she turns around and she sees Superman flying.
Really? Okay, maybe I got him
Yes.
confused. Okay, all right. Well, that's my bad. Fine. Look,
Fuck you.
I can be wrong from time to time. It happens. It doesn't matter. She gets liquefied later anyway. Okay, so next question. This I need cleared up. The mother boxes were
Mother?
The
The
yeah.
Mother Fokker.
I literally can't feel my tongue. The mother boxes were excuse me were like these engines and weapons that were created. Shut up. As like world-ending things. Why were they afraid of Superman? Why were they waiting for Superman to die? Like that whole thing was really strange to me. Like I thought that was an interesting plot point, and I kind of like it anyway. Maybe I'm overthinking it for no reason whatsoever, but it seems like they're like devices and tools. I don't know. It's almost like my ladder calls out to me and goes, "Oh, hey, the wife is at the grocery store. You can do all sorts of dangerous shit and climb up and clean the gutters. She's not here. Quickly, use me." That didn't make sense to me. I like that.
No,
I loved how like Superman dies in the beginning and he sends out this wave and it pings them. Like it kind of makes sense. They tied it together, but I don't understand why.
yeah, no, I didn't think that made sense unless the the way I thought the mother boxes were their own entities, like the Infinity Stone. Let's draw that analogy. And what's his face?
Stephen
Purple guy, Grimace, from. I'm having a brain fart. I'm in DC mode right now, so
He
I have
does
no
look like
idea where
Grimace.
you're going with this.
No, he's talking about
But
what's his name? Oh my God, what the fuck is his name? I can't remember because
From
you're right.
what
right.
Like
movie? From what movie?
from Endgame and Infinity Wars, what's his name?
Oh, Thanos. God
Thanos.
Thanos,
damn
Like,
thank you.
yeah.
So, you know,
it.
What the hell did
Okay.
Grimace even sound like? Like, what the fuck is my
uh,
chicken nuggets? Is that no? That's the cookie. No, that's the Cookie Monster. What the fuck
Oh
did
my
Grimace
God.
sound like? Anyway, it doesn't matter.
but anyway, yeah, Thanos was seeking out the Infinity Stones to use them for something.
I'm
Steppenwolf.
just picturing the ham.
Wait, we
All I
have
can now
to.
picture. All I can picture is a hamburger running around stealing Infinity Stones for like
Rubble,
for
rubble,
Grimace.
rubble, rubble.
Hamburger. Did you get the Mind Stone?
I'll gladly pay you Tuesday for a Mind Stone today. I know, I'm totally
That's a
mixing
whole
something up.
nother. That's
I
a
know,
whole
I
nother
know.
universe.
I couldn't resist. I'm sorry.
Fucking
That hamburgers.
Oh my God.
Oh Jesus.
Anyway, yeah. Go ahead.
So
You were saying?
yeah, so I mean, he was using these tools for something evil, and it I don't think I think the same thing was going on with Steppenwolf. Steppenwolf wanted the mother boxes to do his bidding. I don't think it was the other way around. So it doesn't make sense that the mother boxes would be like, oh no, Superman's here. We can make our presence known.
Right.
No,
Unless maybe I'm
so
wrong.
so
Were they
apparently
calling out to Steppenwolf?
But there's also hold on. But there's also another thing. Superman arrived at some point on Earth. Why didn't they call out before he arrived? When there was nobody there, since they even explained that all the races had a big falling out. The Amazons went and hid on that island. Atlanteans went underwater. Blah blah blah. There was a big sort of like these groups just separated and segregated, and wanted nothing to do with each other. And Superman had not yet arrived on Earth. Why didn't the mother boxes call out then?
I think
Why did they wait for him to arrive and then wait for him to die to send out the signal?
there's a missing maybe comic book canon that isn't really explained in the movies, but when Darkseid is conquering all these worlds, his hardest times are when lanterns, Kryptonians, and maybe like other races are fighting, and they have their hardest time doing conquering worlds. So
Right.
on Earth they lost, and by the way, it didn't have, well, there was one lantern in that fight, right?
Yeah, he gets killed really quick.
Right, exactly, but there wasn't a Kryptonian. But then, like, I guess they're implying, or maybe reaching to comic book lore, but the planet, the mother boxes stayed dormant because there was a Kryptonian on the planet, and Amazonians and Atlanteans. So,
But
like, once the Kryptonian
But
died,
but the Kryptonian, I'm saying, why didn't they send out a signal before Superman arrived on Earth? There was
yeah,
literally like thousands of years before he arrived. What
yeah,
happened in
well,
that
that's true.
time?
That's true too.
oh, you know what?
Why?
I saw the pitch meeting for this, and it was because that's the way it was written,
Nice.
and then the movie wouldn't have happened. So
Oh,
I'm
you know
gonna,
what? Actually,
I'm gonna
you
need
know
you to
what?
get off my back about this one.
you know what?
Well, I'm
Let me
saying,
get way off that thing.
you know what? Actually, there is one thing. I bet if you put like Zack Snyder in the corner, and I don't know why you would do that. It's weird, like thing. But anyway, but let's say you cornered him and you were like Zack, and he would like obviously call the cops and ask him why this would happen. I actually know exactly the explanation he would give you, or possibly one of the explanations. And that would be when the Lantern dies, the Green Lantern character dies, they make it a point to show that his ring takes off and goes somewhere. What he's going to tell you is what Kevin said when he said that you couldn't have, all these forces, including the Lanterns at the planet. He's going to say that the ring always was always present and ready to pick a successor to that Lantern that died. So while the Lantern was on Earth, that's why the mother boxes didn't call. No, but then again,
I mean,
he
that's
still wasn't
kind of
there.
a reason, but
But he
it's
still was there when Superman died. Yeah, no.
well,
No,
when that
you're
battle
right then.
happened, Ryan Reynolds wasn't born. Come on.
Right. No,
You mean
that's true.
No,
No, the
Deadpool was
ring,
not around.
was hiding on Earth. Ryan Reynolds got the ring, and by that time, Superman was already on the planet. Then when whatever happened with Ryan Reynolds, wherever he went, then there shouldn't have been a lantern on the planet
No,
anymore.
but wait. No, but
You
wait.
know,
But
it's funny, that works, but it's such a reach. It's like almost like, why can't Cyborg solve everything?
yeah, and why didn't Schmeagol, when he stole the ring, just not give it to Frodo, and then Frodo could have fought Darkseid in the end? I don't understand. This whole ring thing doesn't make any sense.
No, there were reasons why you couldn't just have the Eagles. So
Oh, nice.
Oh, Jesus.
Uh, So okay, so I think I don't think we cleared anything up. I think we just have some more questions, but I think it's time to move on from that anyway. What it was you know what? I'm gonna skip over the time travel thing because it's just one of those things. If you put time travel into any movie, it stops. You automatically lose me because it becomes again a convenient plot device that only works when it's convenient. If the Flash could run
unless
fast
it's
enough,
in the fountain, and then
shut
you're
up.
like, that was
We're not.
genius. That was like so genius. I mean, if you could see
He
how
does.
genius this was,
Wait, he doesn't control time in the fountain. Okay, first of all, shut up. Second of all,
there
he doesn't
is a
control
point where you could argue that there's actual time travel in it.
in a different episode. Yes, you could. Unfortunately, this isn't about that. So anyway, so what I'm saying is that at if he could do that, that means at any given point the Flash could have, reversed time and changed things. So again, I don't want to talk about it.
He
If
didn't
you if
reverse
you
time. He only went backwards in time to make it on time to the actual,
what he
like,
traveled
cartoon.
back.
No,
No,
he
no, he
Yes,
reversed
he
no,
did.
time.
no, 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 Kevin. He traveled back in time twice. Once to to help them against Steppenwolf, and then a second time when he traveled from the past to tell Batman that Lois Lane is the key to help with the whole Darkseid problem later on.
No,
So
I forget the
it's
Lois
it,
Lane part. But
it's established that the Flash can travel through time. And again, once
yeah,
you do that, that breaks a lot of things. And
but
I really don't like that.
that's a Flash thing. I mean, that's been part of Flash comics for a long time.
Well, it's also been a part of Superman comics. He has reverse time as well, and I really hate that thing. I hate
Yeah.
it. I think that's a really stupid, like really, really stupid fucking thing to do. It
Remember,
also,
remember
it also,
Superman rotated around the planet so fast it reversed time
yeah. By the
in
way,
the old school movie.
a lot of people point out a very obvious problem with that. So if you watch the original Superman movie, what happens is, there's, a bunch of world disasters, right? And he flies around and tries to help as many of those as he possibly can. And then as a result, because he helps all those people, he allows Lois Lane to die, right? But then he gets angry and he flies backwards. And instead of helping people, he flies to help Lois Lane, which means that all the people that he saved effectively died horribly.
Yeah, but that never really happened anyway.
No, it does.
The saving of them never happened. They
Yes,
just die like they originally die.
right. But that's just really fucked up that he sacrifices an insane amount of people to save one person. Like, watch it again. That's exactly what happens.
Of
Because, like,
course, I understand. I know.
yeah, yeah. So Christopher Reeve was an asshole.
Super,
He got
Superman was an
exactly what he
asshole.
deserved. What? Ugh, what a jerk.
Oh my God, Jerry! When he laughs, his whole monitor bounces.
So
Yeah, it's
my
pretty amazing.
laptop is where it belongs, on my lap.
On his cross. So then I have to say the final part. So here's the thing. So two things with the final part where Batman buys instead of buying just buying the Kent farm or the Kent house back, he buys the entire bank, which is absolutely just stupid. First of all, I love the fact that actually no, I'm sorry. I want to backtrack. There's one thing that's weird.
Only one?
No, there's a lot, but actually there's one. Is that in this movie, or have I been drinking way too much alcohol? Because I don't see that in the notes. I could swear there's a part that. Oh, here we go. At some point in the movie, Cyborg says when he runs into Batman in his costume he says, "I heard stories about you, but I didn't think that you were real."
Yeah.
This is supposed to take place when Batman's already old and pretty much like semi-retired. How the fuck is Batman still a myth in whatever the fuck reality Cyborg lives in?
Maybe Cyborg isn't in Gotham City. Yeah, no, he's in.
Gotham is all
Yeah.
kinds of crazy shit.
No. Come on. No. Gotham is not this weird isolated thing. It's a major city in the world where Batman was a very well-known thing. If Cyborg didn't hear, there's no way Cyborg thought that Batman was a myth. Come on. Especially
I thought that was
wait. Especially if Cyborg is supposedly tapped into, all the internets and all the things in the world.
Well, only now it is.
Right, but he can't. He really? So he what? Was he using the Bing search engine until then? And now all of a sudden he Googles
No.
Batman. He's like, oh shit, you're real. Like what?
You're going back to like, Cyborg is OP. He's not omniscient. He doesn't
It's first of all,
expand his
it's
consciousness.
omniscient.
He's.
I don't know what I don't know what omniscient is.
It's drunk slur. So
I think it's a thing to help with your erection.
The point is he has access. He doesn't have all that knowledge like in an omniscient manner. He has it.
He literally does. That's what he's told. His father has a little. There's like a little tape, and he tells him,
"Oh, you can do this now."
Yes.
And he's like, "I don't know what you're talking about. I've never gone to go get that code." It's not like he knows it.
Yeah.
You're making it sound like he's not omniscient, but he's not. That's the point.
Here's the
Just literally my point. It's not
I think you're not giving Cyborg enough credit. I think you're basically saying he's an important character. He's incredibly powerful. He's incredibly important, and he's a key to the whole thing. And then you're going, you know what? You can't expect him to be important and powerful and be a key to the whole thing. Like,
what the fuck? You're
pick a lane.
No, he can hack anything. He doesn't have everything like and know what to do with it. He doesn't.
Okay. It's not just a hack thing.
I have to agree with Kevin here. Let's look at the facts. He's what? In high school. Cyborg is in high school. He's
college,
a kid.
Right? Oh no, it is high school.
Yeah. I thought he was in high school. I could be wrong. Either way, it's a couple of years.
No, he's in the Justice League.
He's been given these new incredible powers that he doesn't really know.
I know where you're going with all this. That's just
what
bullshit.
are you gonna do? What would you do in that situation?
If I could access all the things.
No, seriously, Skippy.
Hold on.
His dad says on the recording you could do anything, and it's like, oh shit, I could do anything. And the only thing he does with that do anything is he goes and sees a woman and says, oh, that woman is accessing her account and her ID is X, and let's give her cash. He hasn't even tried to hack the government. And you're like, why doesn't he go do all that stuff?
Because if you're going to take that angle, then you have to really make it realistic. If you're going to tell me that if you walk up to a high school kid and say, you now have access to all the information and all the facts and all the internets and all the data in the world, then I'm sorry. This would have been 4 hours of Cyborg just beating off to all the porn in the universe nonstop, okay? Don't give me this shit then, okay? Again,
it doesn't matter that he could do
it
in his head now because he was already doing it on his laptop, so it doesn't matter.
I have to find a mother box.
You're really like you have to find a what?
A mother box.
Jerry's gonna be.
Oh my god!
I have to get a mother box and I have to get into a bed.
Oh my god! Is that's the end of this episode, right?
That's a lot of work when you could just pay for a pro membership on like Pornhub. Like,
oh my god! No, but that's a in-home device. The mother box.
The mother box.
Oh
okay. All right. Fine.
What happens if you merge a mother box with an arcwave?
Oh my god.
Jesus. No, nobody listening knows what that is.
Then you get Thanos. You wipe out half the life on in the entire universe. Okay, fine. That's fine. So wait, when did we? Oh yeah, because I went back to that. I'm sorry. Okay, so anyway, you've explained nothing, And moving right back to the bank thing. So here's but here's the thing. I actually found an answer. I asked the question and I actually figured out my own answer, right? So first of all, yes, I did think it was weird that Cyborg couldn't just buy the Kent farm back, but okay, whatever, fine. I also thought it was weird that Cyborg's weapons that were against Superman, because he came from the mother box, again, only did that once
That
in a
was
scene that was
stupidest
important.
part of the story. I
Yeah,
agree.
and then that really, they didn't need that at all. They could have just been like, Superman is confused because he literally was just brought back from the dead and he's just like lashing out. But okay,
Right.
anyway.
I think that was a result to being or a result of being invasively scanned. You know, he's scanning us. Oh no, my defenses are activated.
Yeah,
But yeah,
again,
it
it
was kind of
wasn't
like
needed.
I think
But here's the thing. No, go
the
ahead.
only thing I could think they were trying to do was link it to well, when Superman died, the mother boxes like woke up. Oh, finally. Like they were in defensive mode until he died. But now when a creation of a mother box cyborg is in front of an actual a Kryptonian, it goes, "Oh shit, we have to defend ourselves." Like I think that it was such a fucking reach to
Yeah, I
make
agree.
that connection. It to me it pulled me out of the movie, and I'm like, huh? What the
Yeah,
hell?
that part.
Like that's such a stupid thing,
Yeah.
and why did Snyder keep it in?
Yeah, it wasn't even needed. Like there was other reasons why Superman could have just been insane. It really
It
didn't.
literally was just to have the fortuitous like they fight each other for a moment
Right,
scene.
exactly. Oh, excuse me. And then, so going back to the bank scene,
I'm gonna call you Rick
I
now.
nice. I was always wondering, like, why did Batman, and this was mentioned a bunch of times by other people, everybody was like, why didn't Batman just buy Superman's house back? Why the fuck did he buy the bank? And there's a joke like, oh, it's because
then we could
it's a
make a
cool line
joke.
because yeah, because it's a cool line because he's so wealthy, blah blah. But no, it actually, I have to, I'm gonna backtrack here. Actually, that was really really smart of Snyder to do. There's a reason why he did that. It's an ego thing. He knows that all he has is money. In fact, there's a question, "What's your superpower?" And he says, I'm rich."
Rich.
So that's his like ego thing. That's him saying, I didn't just buy your fucking house. I bought the entire fucking bank. Like that's him like flexing. Like that's all it
Yeah.
was. That's an insecurity thing.
It
That's
totally is because they were
yeah.
just fighting with each other like in
Right,
the last.
right, exactly. If he just went to Superman and was like, "Oh, I bought your house back," he just would have been like, "Oh, that's cool." But he was like, "No, man, I bought the whole fucking bank. Fuck you." Like, so
If I were
actually,
Superman, I'd be like, I don't need your pity. Like fuck you.
yeah, he could have just been like, "Bing," and Batman would have been dead. But like, but actually, I'm convinced that's why Snyder put that in there. I think it was totally like that was totally Batman, just big dick money energy and just going
Doesn't he
like,
say that in the Whedon?
just no, he didn't.
Are you
I
sure?
thought, yeah, I'm pretty
I'm
sure he
really
did.
sure he shows up
whoa.
and does the same
Yeah.
thing.
Hang on. He might, but that scene was originally filmed by Zack Snyder,
Of course, totally agree with you.
so they kept that in there. But the point was that, like, yes, that was Superman just whipping out a huge dick and just going like, yeah, man, fuck you. I can buy whatever the fuck I want. I don't need to buy your little shitty farm. I can buy the bank that, yeah, I can buy the bank that owns it. So
Yeah,
actually, I thought that was very appropriate.
I got one more note point, and it's not really like a contentious note, but it's
Well,
like,
we don't have time to talk about it. I'm sorry.
like my top. No, the
I don't.
only thing that was missing in Snyder Cut, like I don't know what I think about it to still. The whole thing between Batman and Wonder Woman about like Batman not wanting to lead and Wonder Woman being the leader. Like I don't know if that was missing in the Snyder Cut, but
No, it was
like
in there. No, that's why he mentioned the thing about.
no,
That's
there's
why he
a
was
whole
trying.
missing scene where they're like looking at artifacts or some shit, and she comes to him and like he's hurt, sees his bruises, and like
Oh
he's like
yeah.
tough times, and he's like, I think you're the one that needs to lead. There's like a whole scene missing in Snyder Cut.
Yeah.
Oh,
That was
I think that was Yeah, I see what you're saying. I think that was implied. I think that's why he was trying to push her buttons. because I think that he was trying to basically make her more relevant.
If I never saw the Whedon version, that would never have connected with me in the Snyder Cut.
Yeah, I agree. Yes, Snyder did a bad job explaining it, and Whedon did a shitty job because he made this weird thing where it was almost like Batman was hitting on her the entire time, and then the Flash almost like humps her. So it was really weird. That they
Well,
both.
he lands on her when he's saving that one moment where in the
Yeah,
Yeah, that
yeah,
was just
whatever, he was just being
silly
punky.
comic.
yeah. That
The-
was dumb.
the-
That was really stupid.
I
Well, so
kind
was
of
the hot dog,
enjoyed.
right? Like, it's all he's a kid and like, oh, hot dog instead of pizza.
I
At the back.
Yeah.
enjoyed.
Yeah,
I enjoyed the scene when they were in the carrier and Aquaman was sitting on the lasso and just started like talking and like
That's in the
I
Whedon,
thought that was
not in
yeah
that's the
not in,
that's the
yeah.
yeah. Jerry, I gotta be
I
honest.
enjoyed that.
Jerry, I gotta
I
be
thought
honest.
it was funny.
I fucking hate that scene.
I
thought
know
that was one
you
of the
do.
dumb.
I know you do, which is
I
why I like it.
It's so dumb because he's just looking at Wonder Woman. He's like, and you're hot.
Well, no, but also he was like, "Hey, I got to admit, I'm a little bit scared here, and this and that, and and
So
like."
yeah,
I'm gonna agree with Skippy. Like that
also
scene, glad
yeah.
lead
Why
in the
why
Snyder
would
Cut.
why would she leave her? Why would she leave that thing lying around, like just randomly sitting there? Why would he sit on it? It was just so dumb.
No,
I hate
that
that.
yes, that was
hate that.
I agree with that, but I thought it was
Ugh.
cute. I enjoyed it.
I absolutely fucking hate that scene. Like that whole part. I'm so glad they cut that out. That was so fucking stupid. In fact, you're just oh god, just go think about what a terrible person you are for liking that.
The whole
Anyway,
loses like takes off his sweater every time he goes in the water part that was like
It's
touched
gotta
on
be
the
expensive.
But where does he get the wet
Sweaters.
sweater
what is
to
it?
come back out of the water the next time? Because
It's
every time
true.
he comes out, he's wearing something, and
I
then
have an
every
answer.
time he goes in, he takes it off before he
I
goes
have
in.
I have an answer for you. That creepy woman that smells his sweaters
Yeah.
whenever he drops one is literally waiting on the pier every time. She's like,
He-
I haven't your sweater. Like, and she's just waiting there, like, and he just takes it, and she's like, and she just like gives birth right there.
She's
like,
I keep all your sweaters.
yes.
Yeah, she's like, one day he will drop in the underwear, and I will be here. Oh yes, the jock strap.
I'm
She's
waiting
like-
for the pants.
Is this your cod piece?
Oh my god, it
The,
smells.
the visual effect doesn't help. Nor
No,
does
you missed the joke. The cod piece, because cod.
Yes, I got it. I did get it, and I was like, no,
Oh my god,
none
it's terrible.
none of it good.
I don't know. I think he totally redeemed himself for liking that horrible scene. But yes,
The
but yeah, that was-
songs were interesting. I thought Snyder's choice of like original song content was like another take me out of this movie. Like, what is happening now with these songs?
yeah.
They're
the
not
music-
very emotionally.
They're a little corny. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
they were strange. I mean, of course, the one where the woman with the sweater is singing was sort of like
That whole
this
scene was
is-
unnecessary.
it was
just
unnecessary. I
weird.
agree with you. It was
Yeah.
like I don't know, 30 seconds of like, what is happening? I'm in a movie theater. It wasn't a movie theater, but like,
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not watching a movie. I'm listening to an oddball song in a weird story plot.
Yeah, that was definitely weird.
A lot of
But-
my measurement movies is like when I get pulled out of the story by oddball things happening, and that was one of them. By
There were
far.
there were a few things in this movie that sort of broke the like the flow of it. That's it's
Exactly.
yeah,
Good way
yeah, it's
to
kind of what I
put it.
mentioned. Yeah, but overall it was okay. Now I'm gonna say the most controversial thing, and I want to watch Kevin's head explode. I'm gonna come right out and say this: the Zack Snyder Justice League better than the Infinity Endgame movies. I enjoyed it way more than that fucking storyline. I thought this was, again, there's something about this where I was glued to the screen the entire time, and I was watching there, and I was like, that I don't like this, I might not like that, and that doesn't really make sense. And I was kind of just thinking along because I overanalyzed everything. But when it was done, I honestly sat back and said, Snyder just like there's a lot of shit that went into this movie. It had problems, but it was just really just a great piece of cinema that was made. And I have to nitpick to find problems, which is what I've been doing this entire podcast. But I was absolutely glued to my seat the entire time watching it. I enjoyed it. I loved it. The character was great. The cinematography is beautiful. I enjoyed everything. I didn't have any of that while watching the Infinity War and Endgame. And after watching the Infinity War and Endgame, I was like, great, I'm fucking done with this. Thank God. I don't give a shit about Phase 18 or what the fuck they're doing. This movie, I was like, oh fuck, I so wish they let him run the fucking Snyderverse and let them do like the Darkseid thing and this and that. I would love to see where this goes. I want to see more of this. With the Marvel movies, I'm like, great, I'm fucking done. I'll watch this on Disney Plus when I have time. So yes, I thought the Snyder Cut. I think at the end, I didn't
Don't
like
fucking
I
say it again.
I didn't like this. I did not like the Superman movie that much. I thought that was flawed. I thought Superman versus Batman was terrible.
Kind of
But
stupid.
but yeah, it was. But the Justice League, oh man, he fucking redeemed himself. I thought that was awesome.
I I thought that Justice League was good and I enjoyed it. I don't think it was better than the Marvel movies. I thought the Marvel movies were a lot more storylines tied together. They were like more epic. I
Wait.
felt
You mean
that
hold on? You mean it took the individual movies and tied it together well, or do you think, or are you saying the storylines in those two movies were tied together better?
I think yes,
What?
but
No, what do you
like
mean yes? Answer the question. What do you mean yes?
I think
I
they're
totally
both
agree,
right.
and it is both ways. They're all the movies tie in, and you're talking to someone who's literally watched like most of those Marvel movies 100 times,
They
literally.
don't tie in. They actually break previous movies. They literally introduce
No,
things. They introduced things and powers and concepts in those two movies that completely
no, they
negate the
don't.
previous one.
You're talking out your ass. You never watch them, and you think half about them while you're watching them to even pay attention. You're not
No,
even fucking paying attention to them.
I
the
overanalyze
they
all the
totally
things.
tie in. There's very little in terms of plot holes, and then
We
they
spent
you don't even pay
multiple we
attention.
spent multiple episodes where I pointed out multiple plot holes in all these movies.
Yeah, you're all and just like all our multiple episodes, your opinions are flawed. Like they're not paying attention because you don't
No, I,
because you're biased and you don't want to even like you don't want to pay attention. You're just like, oh, that sucks. And the only thing I'll give you is granted, obviously you're an individual watching a movie and you're like, what was that bullshit? So it took you out of the movie and you were like, that sucked. I get
I'm
it.
sorry.
Like that's how I feel sometimes with movies. But like there's no way the nice, steady, multiple movie character development stuff that went on
No. Hold on a second.
didn't
No.
build
No.
up
You
to
can't
an
do that.
end
You
game
can't do
that
that. You
was
can't
pretty
look at
cool.
no. You can't look at two movies which span across 4 hours and then say, yeah, it's great because of all the stuff that came before it. Like I get it that it feeds off that, and I understand that they couldn't sit and introduce like 18,000 characters. But you're using those other movies as a crotch to try to justify two
Crotch?
very you know you know what I was trying to say.
Um, that's what that's
You're
what Jerry
using
uses movies for. I do not use
Yeah.
movies
you're
for
using
crime.
them as a dick to basically try to justify these two incredibly borderline mediocre pieces of crap.
I feel like
Hold
your
on a
opinion
second.
is somewhat tainted.
What an asshole thing to say. But yes, I get it.
No, no. Okay, you're so I think for the first time I understand what you're saying. You're saying two movies stand alone, side by side, without any background, and you're critiquing them at that level. I'm saying the whole MCU universe with all of the movies did make those final movies, Endgame and whatever, that much more because it's like telling a joke that's a recall to something you and your friends laughed about 2 years ago. It's like here's a whole bunch of movies that were like maybe were good, some Thors were bad, Some movies are good. You go back and watch them, you're like, wow, that was really well done. And like then you get to Endgame, and they all told a really cool, long, multi-movie story. And then I look at DCU and I'm like, Snyder, yeah, better than the Joss Whedon one. And it's like Snyder's like trying to do this arc, but if you know nothing, there's nothing before this movie. It's a standalone by itself, and it's like, okay, so my view of the Snyder Cut was 4 hours. Maybe it would have been, two movies, whatever, if it came out in theaters. But it would have been, here's some character development for all the characters except for maybe Batman and Wonder Woman, and and they like shortcutted all of that cool pre-story just to get, like, instead of pre-story to leading up to this epic two-part finale, they're doing the two-part finale that starts off a whole thing in the future. To me, that's like bogus bullshit. Like, I
Yeah.
enjoyed it much better than Joss Whedon, but like this two-part movie, the Snyder Cut, is like half-ass job.
So here's where I'm kind of drawing the difference between these two universes. I would say the independent Marvel movies were very strong, aside from a few of them. So
Yeah,
it's
a
like,
bunch of.
and then tying it all together, I think that the Infinity War and Endgame were crap. Whereas with the DC universe, I think the independent movies were pretty bad. Whereas I guess
Wait,
again,
do you? Oh
what?
yeah, most are, yeah.
Yeah, were pretty bad. Whereas the thing that brought them together was way superior to how Marvel tied it all together. So I think those are I think that's the major difference. And you're right.
It
Like
doesn't tie anything together.
what do you mean? It
The
ties everything.
DCU doesn't tie any shit together. It's like starting fresh.
It okay, fine. It was a different approach, but I still think that the movie that brought all the DC heroes together was stronger than the Marvel movie that brought all the heroes
So
together.
so
Unless
DCU,
unless unless you could look at it and say, well, yeah, but there was, the Civil War. Yes, Civil War was better, obviously, than that. But I'm
here's
looking at the climax one.
here's the thing that gets me. Character development in MCU done for every character in multiple movies prior to the movie. So the Endgame movie, the two Endgames, whatever,
Right.
had their own plot story. In DCU,
I think it's just called a
four
plot.
hours. What?
I think it's just called a plot.
DCU, half or more, three quarters, was actually character development and then plot.
Okay,
So
And
that's
even
true.
then,
DCU really was not a story. It was 4 hours
like,
of a non-story.
yeah,
No,
and like some of the character development, like you said before, Skippy, there was Aquaman, and it was like, okay, he drinks and takes off his shirt. And then there's like that first scene with Wonder Woman where like this weird, you know, like hostage situation is happening, and she just happens to be standing, like, keep in mind this whole thing, there was 10 seconds on the clock, and
She doesn't even have her jet yet.
yeah,
Well, that
she's
whole scene,
standing on.
well, that whole scene was dumb because first of all, for what they were trying to do, they didn't need hostages, nor did they need a timer. They needed to walk
They
into a
just wanted to
building.
blow shit up.
No, they
Yeah,
just
they needed to
wanted
walk
to
into a building
show
and press a button. Yes, that was really
Wonder
stupid.
Woman, and like she flies down, and then she's like, "Oh wait, let me blow this all up because I just stopped the bomb," and
Yeah, that was
like,
yes, I
It
agree. That was stupid.
literally that was entirely a gratuitous Wonder Woman action scene. That was the whole point of it, was to
There
give
was
her her shining moment.
That's fine. It seemed like the stakes in this movie made a lot more sense than they did in the Marvel movies because, and again, I'll keep coming back to this. Once you make the main mechanic in your plot time travel, you better not fucking half-ass it, and they completely fucking half-assed it. In this
Oh,
one,
I
it
don't
was,
think they did.
oh my God. Okay, well, we can't do another. I'm sorry, we can't do this whole thing about the two Marvel movies. First of all, we did it. Second of all, like, yes, they absolutely fucking did. Endgame was stupid. You can't sit there and tell me that movies like The Fountain, that Donnie Darko, the Primer movies, whatever, are or what's the other one? Predestination, are dumb, lazy, or predictable, or not well thought out, and then sit here and give the crown to fucking Endgame. That was one of
Well,
the
he didn't
dumbest.
see any of those
Crown.
movies.
That was the
I
that was
didn't
the
see those
dumbest time
movies, so I-
travel. Okay,
Yeah.
fine. You saw Back to the Future. Time travel in Endgame was the most half-assed, idiotic Christopher Nolan level bullshit that I've
No,
ever
hold
seen in
on.
my life.
You know, Tenet was like
Oh my God!
time travel stuff like that. You said Christopher Nolan. That's what made me think of Tenet.
Yeah,
But
because
so like
yes,
he just
because
came
the
up with
Russo,
unique
because
weird
the
thing,
Russo,
right?
No,
the,
he didn't. No, he didn't. He got
no,
that from Primer.
yeah,
I understand, right? So he
because
made
it was the same. The Russo brothers did exactly what Christopher Nolan did. They came up with one stupid idea. They didn't think it through, and they were like, "Oh, this is gonna be so fucking great," but it doesn't. And people, and probably the people working with, like, were just like, "This doesn't make any sense." They're like, "It's
Come on, they
fine.
explained
We'll
the whole thing
we'll
in the
we'll
movie.
have
They were like,
we'll
it doesn't work like that. You're think about, Bruce Banner, like the past becomes your present, and then that's your future, or whatever.
Yeah,
Whatever the fuck that.
yes, I get it. They say over and over it doesn't work like Back in the Future. They then completely don't explain how it does work,
And
and then
10 other movies.
and then Iron Man just figures out how to fucking do it over like dinner, where he's just like, "Hey computer, can you do time travel?" And it's like,
Well, of
"Yes, I
course
can."
it's a Mobius strip.
Yeah,
Duh.
and it's like, yeah,
Come on.
and the computer's like, "Yes, I can do time travel." And he was like, "Oh my God, I've
Oh,
created,
you're.
I did,
Oh,
I
I
it's so good."
instantly understand
Here we go.
Skippy thought frame. He doesn't understand, like, that actually appeals on a nerdy science level, and you're
If
not a
you
nerdy science guy.
So, okay,
if you think that
Kevin, Kevin,
if you think that
what?
Endgame appeals on a on a scientific
No,
level,
no,
you are
you're like,
you
oh, Tony
you
Stark, like he goes Mobius. Oh, that's the answer. Like I figured it out in no time. First of all,
that's what he did.
he
He's sitting there
Tony
drinking.
Stark
He's
figures out
sitting.
all kinds of scientific things because that's his character, right? That's his superpower.
Wow,
He's not only rich, but he's smart.
wow, that's very deep. He figures out he figures out a bunch of science
Wow,
stuff.
he's deeper than Batman.
No, okay. Now, again, here we're talking about you're not taking into account all the movies that led up to this, Kevin. All the movies that led up to this, Kevin.
An
If there
entire
are no, Kevin,
Ant-Man
shh,
series.
listen to me, Kevin. Only artsy fartsy, open to whatever the fuck you want to pull out of your ass movies with time travel appeal to Skippy. If it's a movie like Primer that actually has some science and
Oh my
actually
God.
makes sense, then that doesn't appeal to Skippy. So
Wait, hold on a second.
that's why
So
that's
No,
why.
but the point
hold on.
is,
So you're gonna say
my
that
point is, there's
primer.
actually a whole quantum universe story
Oh, he
in
said
the
quantum.
Ant-Man
He said
that leads.
quantum.
I said quantum. Use quantum.
Bingo.
You use quantum in
Drink,
any.
Bingo.
drink. The
That's it. In
second you
fact,
the
I'm
se
dry. I need to go get. Oh no, I'm not.
the
Yeah, I'm
second you
out.
say the second you say quantum in a time travel movie, you need to get the fuck out. You have no idea what the hell you're talking about. That has nothing to do with goddamn time travel. Get out of here. Okay,
I mean, oh, okay. If that's your rule to measure movies, then of course
physics.
it's Marvel.
Physics. I'm sorry that I use physics. Yes, I apologize.
Why? What part of physics do you think you understand that it means quantum can't deal with time?
Here's the thing. Even if I didn't have 3 glasses of 99, I still would not be able to answer that fucking question. Okay, but
No, but why does quantum equal bullshit time travel
because because
suspend disbelief?
because that's the Pee Wee Herman magic word of the day. If you don't know how to solve for time travel or explain time travel in your movie, you throw the word quantum. Actually, I'm sorry. If you don't know how to explain anything scientific in your movie, you throw the word quantum into it. That's it.
That's
That's like the
hilarious that you're saying that because quantum mechanics and engineering is actually the real life thing that comes closest to actually dealing with that shit.
Except the
but
people that use
I
the
have to
terminology have no understanding of how it works, but they
break it
know
up.
that it has to do with it, so they try to put that word into it.
Break it
We're
up.
both like
You're both right.
elbows on the
Okay.
table.
No, like what Skippy is saying is absolutely true. In
That's it. No, you
movies,
can
they
stop right
just
there. And
throw in
hold on. I have to turn off the.
catchphrases.
Hold on, I have to stop the
Yeah,
recording.
stop the recording. Yeah. But
Stop
what
the count. Stop the
Kevin
count. Stop
Why?
the count.
Kevin is saying, like, is absolutely true too, and they just got lucky. Like Kevin, if the word was squibbly doop, and that was like that meant, that was the scientific term that covers everything, they would have been calling it squibbly doop.
Yeah, it's Jeremy Bearimy. Okay, basically, look up the Jeremy Bearimy concept. Okay. Someone hasn't watched The Good Place.
I did watch The Good Place, the
Okay.
entire.
Okay, good. Oh, we should have an episode about that because I hated season 4. But anyway, that's for another episode.
Oh my God, am I gonna have to rewatch that? Because you do realize if I'm not in the middle of watching it, I forget it instantly.
Yes, we do realize that.
No, I realize that from every opinion you've ever had about anything. So anyway, is there any other thing we need to talk
love you,
about?
Mike.
Cool. Is
I
there
love you.
anything? And I too wish you no harm. So is there anything else? Is there anything we need to cover with the Snyder Cut?
I think it's quite covered.
Okay. So those are all the points that I think we had in the notes that I wanted to cover with. But I don't know if there's any kind of questions or anything else you guys wanted to dive into because I sure as hell do not.
For tonight or for the Snyder Cut in general?
Well, I mean, I figure next week we can overanalyze the Snyder Cut, the black and white or the gray version or whatever it's called. I don't know.
The noir version.
You know what? No, I think if Kevin can do his homework and watch the movies, we have
Fountain.
Fountain,
Dark, whatever the
Donnie
hell.
Darko,
Dark.
the Primer, and also Predestination, which was cool.
Wait. No.
Can we watch?
Hold off all your opinions on this. Yes, those are the movies. You have Primer, Predestination, Donnie Darko. Oh, The Fountain.
The Fountain.
And yes, and The Fountain. Those are all the ones you have to watch. And then we are all going to get incredibly drunk and or high together and watch Southland Tales later. But
oh my God,
don't watch that yet.
Southland Tales.
Oh my God. Wait. Kevin's gonna be here in a couple weeks.
Ooh, that's perfect. There you go.
Oh,
there you go.
Wow. Well,
Yes.
I mean, yes, but are we going to? I guess it would have to be a late night thing after all our
Well, yes.
partners go to bed.
You can call them
and
wives.
like,
You just call them wives. We all have wives.
Wives.
It's fine. You don't have to be weird about
Wives, ladies, women,
it.
all the worst ways to call them.
Our female friends that made horrible life decisions. Yes.
There you go.
Yes. Yes. Anyway, okay. All right. So we're gonna wrap this up here because I think we did a lot. And honestly, wow, we're only half a Snyder cut of a podcast episode this time. So not too bad. Not too bad.
I feel like we really didn't give it effort.
No, I think it. No, I mean we covered a lot of topics. We only skipped over a few of the notes, and I think some of the other ones were just kind of pointless. Yeah, and I think we did the movie justice.
You're in a new league with those jokes.
Oh God, Jesus Christ! I'm gonna jump out my fucking window. I'm only on the second floor. I wonder if I can climb up to the roof.
Kevin, high five, Kevin.
High five. I did it. For real.
We killed Jerry. That's great. Anyway, okay, so no final thoughts because this was just about a fucking movie, so we don't need them. I want to thank you both for making the time to talk about this incredible cinematic experience. Yeah, I really do hope that Warner Brothers or HBO, whoever the hell does it, actually reconsiders it and gives Zack Snyder another chance to make some more movies. I think the stuff that he sets up with future movies could be really, really cool. I don't know. We'll see.
It's supposed to be a trilogy. Like this would have been the first one, right?
Yes, at least a trilogy. Yes. He even fixed the Joker to an expense, which is to an extent, which is saying a lot because the Suicide Squad version of the Joker was pretty fucking awful.
Well, they used the Suicide Squad Joker.
No, but they made him better. They definitely made, and there's this whole thing about apparently they had to really they had to have a few conversations with Jared Leto to get him to come back to film that scene because he's pretty bitter about how things ended with that. The fuck was that? Anyway, so
It's fucking
yeah.
Jared Leto laugh.
Yeah,
Joker
that was
laugh.
the Albert. What did we say? We'll do the albatross. What is like? I'll laugh like a seagull. He's like, yeah, I'll look at Batman funny and laugh like a seagull because that might as well happen. Yeah. Anyway, and then maybe next time we can talk about the new Justice League movie, which is coming out soon, which looks like something. I'll see.
You mean the new Suicide Squad movie?
The new. I'm sorry. Yeah, the
we just talked about the new Justice League
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. This.
Like, wow, did Zack Snyder announce something in the time we've been recording this podcast?
No, but it really is going to be the George Lucas thing where they're going to be like, yeah, Zack Snyder keeps breaking and making a new version of the Justice League for the next 50 years. Yeah. So anyway,
maybe HBO buys the rights.
Yeah.
Zack Snyder first.
Oh my God, Superman punched first. It was weird. All right. So
broke his neck before he struggled.
McClunky.
Yeah, you can clearly hear Cyborg scream McClunky. Anyway, all right, we're gonna end it here. So thank you both. I appreciate it. You guys have a good night.
Night, Skippy.
And on to the next one. All right. Have a good night.
Good night.
This has been a production of
It's Just Me
Studios.